And we have Ashley Cooper who has called in. Hey, Ashley, what's going on? What do you think about Tracy Joe?
Oh my God. I had to put my headphones on because every time you said Remington, my female dog would look up and Justin's over here like, who in the fuck is that? I was like, nobody. He's like, Ben, turn that crazy wench up. I don't want to hear that shit. I gotta go to work. This is the same person that was in the hotel room in Osceola with Danielle Estelle, Dr. Goodbyes, when they let her in the room when they were basically, in other words, I guess, kidnapping her or basically holding her against her will. This is the same crazy psychopath. And then she made a comment a while back saying she had no part of it, which is an utter lie. But she's actually code speaking to her husband. That's what this is about.
And when you say that Danielle Stella was in a hotel room in OCO, give us the backstory on that. For our viewers that may not know, Danielle Stella got mixed in with this group of QAnon conspiracy theorists when she just decided to challenge Ilhan Omar for
Yeah.
Congress in Minnesota, and she lost. She got arrested for shoplifting. She was unsuccessful in the bid to challenge Ilhan Omar, but apparently she was in a hotel room and was being forced to stay there against her will. And the two people that were forcing her to stay there were Tracy Joe, who we just heard from, and Field McConnell's sidekick, Dr. Good Vibes, a
Well, it's more
chiropractor.
than that. Right, but it's more than that. This girl got caught up in the wrong crowd. I knew she was going to be the next victim of Sarah Dunklin. And I had called Alex, which I guess, I don't know what he is to her. I guess they're just good friends. I don't know. But I had talked to
Not
her.
Alex Goddard.
No, 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 not that Alex. I forgot his name. This one's a boy. Anyways, so what happened was is he had asked me to go there to help her because I was only an hour and a half away. Well, when I got there, she was just flipping out. Like they had her so emotionally stressed. She had her cat there. She's the one that told me about the bath salts with Sarah Dunklin, how she took care of Sarah Dunklin's kid, and she's the one that told me about Cindy and the cult like stuff that they would do and how they would say they're talking to archangels and all kinds of crazy stuff and this thing that would spin around. And actually, Paige Chapman, that's in the chat right now, um, she also spoke to her on a three-way with me as well because we were trying to get her help. And it was three people that ended up in that hotel, and Sarah Dunklin telling them that she works, that Danielle works for her and that she's her boss, and just destroyed her car, just like they did Cindy. You know, one thing that Danielle did tell me is that people think that Cindy's innocent when she's not. She was right there with the QAnons, even though she said she wasn't, because she absolutely was. And I believe, if I remember correctly, when they had that thing at Field McConnell's house, I believe Danielle was also there. This was a while back, so I'd have to go back through my phone call recordings and pull it up. I have them saved, so so we told the cops in Osceola, Alex was trying to help, Kim was trying to help, and then somehow one of the recordings that she had leaked out. We don't know what happened with that, which made her not trust anybody for a good reason. So now she just thinks I'm the spawn of Satan, which is fine too, because I was actually there to help this woman. And from word I got from one of my friends there in Arkansas, that's not far from Sarah Dunklin. She's now back with Sarah. And I also found out when Sarah had that last court case, my friend told me that she was running around the courtroom with her daughter's underpants, saying that her ex-husband was raping her. It's just a big mess.
Wow. And Danielle Stella was in our chat room earlier. She said hello to Paige, and I posted the link for her to come on there. Danielle, I would love to talk to you. I'll be polite. I'll give you the floor. I won't interrupt you. No judgments. I am genuinely curious and concerned with your experience with these people. And I think people need to know what exactly they're up to. And if you were victimized by them, this would be a great platform for you to tell your story. So Danielle Stella, if you're still in the chat, click that StreamYard link. If you're watching the chat on YouTube, I pinned it. It would be at the top of the page. All you have to do is click it and you will be connected to us and we can interview you. I would be glad to get your story out there because this is extremely important. And Ashley, didn't you also tell me that Dr. Good Vibes took her blood?
Yeah, he took a vial of her blood and they let this man in her hotel room while she was sleeping without her knowledge. Like that's this type of thing. Like that's an Osceola. Like I was there. I was there to pick her up and stuff, and she wouldn't leave, which is fine, but this man, these people terrorized her, put the fear in her just like they did with Cindy. And this is how these two go hand in hand. I didn't even know that Cindy was there with her at the same time. And that's when Danielle said yes, and that Ryan was very abusive to both of them. And maybe Cindy had Stockholm syndrome before she went with little Mr. James White from Northland Liberty News. And that's how I found out the truth of everything, and that's how I got involved with all of this stuff. I was actually genuinely trying to help. So sorry, Danielle, if you think I wasn't, but I know the truth. So we know that you were a victim because Sarah Dunklin had asked me to come onto your case to help you with the stuff that was stolen that you couldn't even remember that was stolen. I was actually going to go pay that off. Sarah Dunklin was going to give me the money to try to basically make this go away. See, that's one part you didn't know that I still have screenshots of.
And Paige just joined the room. Hey, Paige, what's up?
Oh, yeah, Paige was also on a three-way call with us when she said that stuff about Cindy Absug, too.
Oh, yeah, I was. And with Alex, when Alex was saying that she was telling him she was trapped there and everything else. And, and for the record to Danielle, because I have heard that she has, or somebody.
Paige, I missed you. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Miss you. But somebody definitely did say, because I've heard on the streets or in comments, whatever, that Danielle has said that we try.
Oh, Paige, I just lost you.
Say that again, Paige.
Hey, Paige, why don't you try reconnecting and then come back on? Because I think you got somewhat of a bad connection. But how did Danielle Stella, how did she get hooked up with Tracy and Sarah Dunklin and Field McConnell and Timothy and these people, Ashley?
Alex introduced her to Sarah Dunklin. Thought it would be good for her because Sarah Dunklin had the politicals underneath her belt, right? Which we all knew this, okay? So Alex thought it'd be good for her to go spend.
Who's Alex?
I don't. Alex
He was like her manager for her political stuff.
Okay, for her political campaign. Okay, thanks, Paige.
My phone went a little iffy, but I'm back now.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you much better. Now go ahead.
Okay.
What were you saying?
I was going to say, when we were on the phone, Alex, but Danielle, I've heard that people have said, like, oh, you're the one that set her, like, we set her up, me and Ashley. But the deal is, we were getting calls from people that knew her in the situation, like Alex, who were saying that she was, like, being held there, and it was, like, not a good situation. So Ashley drove all the way there and couldn't get access to her. She wouldn't open the door. I don't know if other people wouldn't let her open the door or what was going on. And so, yeah, the police were called, but we were genuinely trying to help Danielle. We weren't trying to set her up.
No, Danielle was told that Kim Pacazio is an evil, sadistic, Satanist person is what ended up happening. And see, Danielle doesn't even know that I have more information than what she realizes. I just keep that to myself. We weren't the ones that leaked the call. We don't even know how that call got leaked on, what was it, Paige? Was it Monograph? I don't remember who it was that leaked the call. But we were trying to help this woman because she was telling everybody that she was being held against her will, and they destroyed her car, and that's why she couldn't leave. And
right,
yes,
that it was in the parking lot torn up or something, like they had done
just like they did with Cindy's
to disable it or something. Yes, because I was on the phone and Alex, she had told Alex that he was telling us he was the one begging Ashley to drive how far to go check on her.
Almost an hour.
Or to try to help her.
An hour and a half away.
And she had to take her kids. And she did it because he was telling us that she was genuinely in trouble and trapped by them. And then when she got there and we couldn't get a hold of Danielle, or she wouldn't answer the door because she was talking through the door, but she was scared, the police showed up.
And let me go and clarify this to everyone that thinks about Cindy Absug, okay? Danielle was the one that told me about this stuff. Danielle was there with Cindy Absug at Sarah Dunklin's house. Cindy didn't mention that on James White's show, okay? Everyone that says, oh, she's this, she's that, y'all haven't talked to her after she got with these frauds. So make it very clear and put this out there. You people did not talk to me. You might have been helping her at one point, but then she went left field when she got with these frauds, and you haven't talked to her since. And Danielle told me she was very much involved with the QAnons, and Paige was on the phone with me at that time, and I will find that recording because she said that she's lying to people. Just putting that out there, okay?
Right. Well, it's true because she was like spouting Q stuff. I mean, on the phone. Like she was saying some Q related, I guess, what people would is part of the Q movement. But then she said they took her blood or something. What did she say, Ashley?
That Dr. Good Vibes, who's a chiropractor, even though he told the hotel people he's her doctor, and that he took a vial of her blood. This is a cult that we're dealing with. That's when Paige and I realized, holy shit, we're dealing with the cult.
Well, and that's when kind of like the cops were involved because she wouldn't, like, I don't know if they wouldn't let her open the door, or if she couldn't, or if they wouldn't let her open the door, or whatever happened, but she wouldn't. And at that point, I was like, this isn't right.
He said, Ashley, get out of there. You're like, Ashley, get out of there, please.
Yeah, I was like, you need to leave, because she had her kids. So I was like, we have a chiropractor. She's saying that at his office after hours is in the nighttime, he's taking people there to draw blood from them. And I'm like, why would a chiropractor need blood?
And how did Tracy Remington factor into this?
She was the next person that was supposed to take over.
She was there at the hotel with Danielle, was she not?
Yeah, it was her, Dr. Good Vibes, and who was the other guy? There was another guy, like a pilot type person. It wasn't Fields, it was somebody else.
Oh, that's
there was one more guy
Tracy's talking to now. Oh my gosh, because didn't you guys say that she says it's a pilot? He's crazy.
Yes, him. Yes, that guy, but I don't know his name. But all three of them showed up.
But he's freaking crazy. They all showed up while Ashley was there, and I was like, you need to leave now.
Why do you say he's crazy?
He's with them. He's got to be crazy. Like, come on now. He literally rolled up with Dr. Good Vibes. He's nuts, okay? I don't give a damn what he does for a professional career. Like, I wouldn't get on a plane with him driving
a commercial airline. I hope he's not driving.
I wouldn't get on any plane he's driving, even if it was free, okay? He could say he was taking me to Italy for free, and I'd say, no, thank you. I'll pay thousands.
He's probably a pilot at Spirit Airlines.
I wouldn't do it.
He drives Spirit.
He definitely does. Don't fly Spirit anybody.
Danielle was the one that was telling us that they've actually hurt people before. Danielle told Paige and I that they were actually plotting,
like holding her captive in this hotel and wouldn't let her leave. And her car was like, what did she say? That it was disabled. Her motor was messed up. Her wheels, just a whole. They destroyed the inside.
Everything was just destroyed.
The wires. Ashley, you saw her car. Didn't I tell you to go look for it?
Well, I got accused of swatting her, and I called the police because I was told she was in trouble.
Because Ashley, is that not what she said? I told Ashley because I was on the phone with her, and then Alex, not even just you, but the other Alex, her manager, campaign manager, was telling us that he's the one begging Ashley to drive there because he was so worried about her and her being trapped there by them and to help her. And so he's telling us all this stuff, and then she is talking to us. And then when Ashley gets there, after she'd even been talking to us on the phone, she wouldn't open the door. So I was like, she's not opening the door because we're not allowing her to. So,
and the thing is, let me put this out there. So before, right. And let me put this out there for everyone that's wondering about this. No, they did not pay me a dime. I took that out of my own pocket. Like, I was doing everything I could to try to help her to get them away from these evil,
and I had even told you that I would send you gas money if it needed or snacks for the kids because you had to end up taking your children.
Yep.
So it wasn't done in any kind of malicious intent. We weren't crowdfunding to save Danielle, okay?
And people in chat are saying that Tracy's boyfriend, the pilot, is Dan Henley, and that name rings a bell because I was...
Holy shit, that's her boyfriend?
Yes, I was watching one of Field McConnell's live...
Wait, that's the crazy pilot.
When he appeared in court Dan Henley was there. He was there.
The one. He was at the hotel with Danielle. He's crazy.
he was watching the live stream on Zoom, and I saw this name Dan Hanley, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I was informed that it was a friend of Field McConnell's, and that's the guy that
He's
Tracy
the nutty pilot.
is with. Wow.
He's the nutty pilot
That was-
in the hotel. They showed up,
That's
and I
him.
told Ashley, I'm telling you on everything. I told Ashley, I said, get out, leave now. Because I just am
And then,
scared of them at this point. I'm scared, so I was like, Ashley, leave. You can't save her. She's not trying to come out. Leave.
And we need like a flow chart to connect all these people because they're all connected. All these crazy people are connected in some way.
Right, but a
sent you the
pilot,
phone
you
chart.
wouldn't
I sent you
expect.
everything. Yeah, that's true.
I wasn't expecting it. I know when we figured out who it was, and found out he's a pilot. I know me and Ashley were like, wait, why is he with
Well, we were
Dr.
trying
Goodbye?
so hard to put we were trying to put it all together. But see, this is what happens. All right, so let me go and explain. Me and Paige figured this out, and this is what they do. This is what they do with Cindy, okay? We asked Danielle, why are you friends with these people? She said, because they told me that they were going to help me and get me away from Sarah. Just like Northwest Liberty News said they were going to help Cindy and get them away from Sarah. And then in the end, they actually, how do I explain it, Paige? Like basically like, oh, we're buddy, but
they literally, they do these shows with all these parents and stuff, I feel like, so that Sarah and the rest of the fraud crew, like Field and them, know who to freaking prey on. I think they're the start.
Well, they are, but I'm saying is that they come in saying we're your friends, and talk mad crap about whoever and get them to trust them, and then that's how they keep them in the loop. That's what they do. That's what James White, whatever. I mean, you saw Levi, you saw the screenshots. That's what he did with Cindy. That's what Good Vibes did with Danielle. He was nice to her. He said, we don't trust Sarah. Don't worry. We have your back. And then he still kept her in the loop and was doing all this crazy stuff and the crazy cult stuff, taking her blood, talking in some type of weird tongues and making this spinny thing move like they're doing some type of seance.
Wait, and what did she say about
crazy.
at night? Hold on, because Ashley, you might remember this better than me. She said at nighttime at Sarah's house, they went out to like a field and did like a ritual.
Yeah. Well, no. That was at Field's house. She said
weren't
that
they like in caves or something outside in the field doing a ritual or something? Is that what she said?
Yeah, something like that. And then that she said when she was at Sarah's house, she grabbed her arm, pulled her outside, and pointed up to the sky and said, "Those aren't stars. Those are spaceships watching us."
Right. And then
that's when we found out she was on bath salts.
She said that when they're doing these rituals, they talk to angels.
Yeah, David Straight was talking angels, and I guess at the time it was Straight, Holmseth, Pendergrass, Randy Erickson, and a bunch of other people at Field's house, and this was after Field was already locked up.
So basically, they try to talk these people into the fact that they speak to Jesus, so they're prophets.
And that Trump's going to save them.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Sarah Dunklin wrote a letter to the judge in her child custody case saying that UFOs were protecting her and Donald Trump was protecting her.
According to Danielle, she is like very much into like they're like the ancestors, and the stars aren't really stars. They're UFOs, and they're watching everything, and just it was a weird situation.
Well, and that she found out, she had told us, that's how we found out that Sarah Dunklin was on bath salts. And that Ryan was abusing her and Cindy Absug when Absug was there. That they were abusing them both, not letting them sleep, not letting them eat. The child hardly ever ate. There were men in and out of her home. All kinds of crazy stuff.
And that's why they said that Sarah barely fed the baby, not the baby, but her daughter, because she barely ever ate because she was always high on bath salts. And Danielle had to basically take her daughter the whole time she was there.
If you look at photos of Sarah Dunklin, she was very thin, very.
Well, Danielle, according to Danielle, it's because she did bath salts and she never slept and never ate. And
right, but then also she was breastfeeding her baby still.
Yeah, me and Ashley, because at that point I was like, wait a second, I've been told she's still breastfeeding at like 8 years old, and I was like, so is her daughter like basically getting fed through breast milk at 8 years old, which is weird in itself, but no shaming, but just weird.
I'll shame her.
But for me, that's a no. Look, for me, that's a hard no. But are
That's
the
a
breast
hell
milk
no.
going through the breast milk to the daughter? Like that's the first thing I asked Ashley when she said that. I was like, does that mean the baby, like not the baby, I keep saying baby, but her daughter is like probably getting, and then it made sense because Danielle said the daughter would barely sleep, but she was probably getting freaking bath salts through the milk.
That is sick. That makes me sick.
Right.
And that's when I decided to testify against Sarah Dunklin.
Because, and that's why the daughter never basically ate food and whatever, because Sarah never had to cook for herself or to eat because she was always on bath salts and didn't sleep or eat.
Which would explain the bizarre behavior as well.
And
but
then
the
all
thing
the
is, and that's
people that
when
were trafficked through Sarah's house, like Cindy and all them, that all the parents, they trafficked just to hide out at her house. They wouldn't let them sleep and stuff either, even though they weren't on bath salts. They would they'd be up all the time. Like, you're going to be up and come outside and watch the UFOs watching us and go do weird rituals in the field. It's a weird situation.
I'm really, really glad that you're not involved, because one of my friends that lives not far from Sarah, that's how I got involved with Picasio and the rest of them for her custody case and everything. You have no idea, but they told me that you were there in Arkansas with her just recently. And honestly, that's neither here nor there. I just hope you break away. I hope you understand that we didn't rat you out. We didn't do any of that stuff. We were actually legitimately trying to help you is what we were trying to do, because these people are very dangerous, very crazy, and they were after you. Like, they were legitimately trying to keep you there.
In a hotel against your will, basically. So that's all that was. We weren't trying to set you up, for the record.
Right, exactly. And you told me and Paige on my phone on a three-way that you wanted out, and Alex begged me to come get you.
Yeah. And then when they did, she didn't answer the door, and that's when obviously red flags went off. And then the police, like I said, were called because I felt like she wasn't opening the door, but it wasn't because she didn't want to. I felt like it's because she couldn't.
And Danielle Stella is in chat. Danielle, if that is you, please come on and talk to us. And that person that we just saw on the screen was Sarah Dunklin, the former chair of the Republican Party for Deshay County, Arkansas, is involved in all of this craziness with QAnon. She had her child removed from her custody because she was mixed up in child trafficking with Field McConnell, Timothy Holmseth, and Cynthia Absug.
Oh, and one more thing, I'd asked Danielle if Field McConnell ever asked her if she could still bear kids. And he did, just like he asked me if I could still bear kids for this ranch. Remember, we talked about that at that show with Field McConnell. And he was asking women, well, think about it, Levi. Think about it. What is the best way to keep a pedophile fed? My opinion is that these are all nasty pedophiles. We already heard the clip of him saying, well, if you don't have those fantasies like I do, consider yourself lucky, kind of thing, right? Well, think about it. What is the best way to feed a pedophile? You bear their children.
True. And they wanted a whole ranch of kids.
And women.
I'm so glad I'm a barren. I'm glad I'm a barren, godless heathen. Back to my drinking tea.
Well, I think you might need something harder than that.
I definitely feel like I am as well, because I've been on depo so long. I'm pretty sure my eggs are dust.
I'm about ready to break out the edibles, to be honest.
Don't do it, you heathen.
This is traumatizing.
Watching Tracy is making me like, just please turn her off. Yes, world, just take her out. Please, God, just take this woman out so we don't have to live with this anymore. Like, this woman is crazy, and I believe she's like code talking about her husband. And I love the part when she says, and Donald Trump's not helping. No, you dumb psycho. He's not going to help you because you're irrelevant to him. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about what's going on with CBS. These people have no links to him. They have nothing with Donald Trump. And he's not our president anymore.
There's no pedophile task force either.
And Martha Henley in chat made an excellent point. She said that Field McConnell wanted to form a cult, and I think that that's
He did.
probably
That's
accurate.
exactly what he did.
It reminds me of like the branch,
Cold
the Branch Davidians. Remember them
it would have
in
been
Texas?
it would have been like the people in Utah still today that have 70 wives that are sisters and they freaking court their nieces and marry them too. What are they called? Help me out here, the religious folks.
Yeah, the
Mennonites?
LDS.
Right. That's what he wanted, except, because that is still pedophilia. I don't care if it's under religion or not. They court their 12-year-old nieces and have kids with them and marry them at 15. So that's still very much pedophilia. That's exactly what Field wanted. He wanted to be like Warren Jeffs.
Well, and Randy Erickson wanted to get a place in Hawaii, on my island, as a matter of fact, on Kauai, which is my island, to bring these supposed women with their kids over there. I'm thinking to myself, oh, I will get all my friends and family, all my kapus over there. We will. No, ma'am, that's not going to happen. Because it turned out that one cult that was there at one point was linked up with these people. And the women that killed her kids in Iowa at one point was linked up with these people. Let that sink in.
Lori Vallow.
Yeah. That was my island that she went to, and the love has won.
Yes,
that's exactly what they were trying. We got them out of there. Like, all my friends and family were standing right there chanting against them because we will not put up with that. So, Randy, if you think that you're going to go to my island and wreak havoc, honey, you are sadly mistaken. You are a howlie. You are a no breath. You are a ghost. You will not last there.
And then you do it here, and we're all coming after you like we are now. So you're not safe anywhere. Just take it or leave it. The demons are after you.
I'm telling you, Timothy Holmseth, I'm coming after you as well. So you might as well just hang it up, because I will find you and I will get you arrested.
I feel like I should start singing hymns now.
Please go for it, please come save my soul. It's gone in the black hole.
Chariot.
Oh my God.
Who knows Satan hymns?
Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya.
So is Danielle Stella still mixed in?
Come on, Danielle, come join us.
She's not going to call, but I wish she would, because me and Ashley are here, and we're the
ones. I do too.
She accused of setting her up for something, but you literally told us that you were trapped there, and you were scared, and you wanted to leave, and she drove 2 hours. I was on the phone. I'm not 2 hours away, but I was still moral support, even though a lot of stuff that was being said was crazy.
I got accused of swatting.
Just to turn around and say we're swatting, and we're because I told Alex, I told her exactly
the mean one.
When me and you were talking, everything that came from Alex, Danielle, and everything, and I was like, but now Ashley's there and knocking on the door, and she's like talking to her through the door, but she won't answer it, and I was like, I don't think it's because she doesn't want to, because on the phone she had told us she wanted to leave. So I was like, I think what happened is she can't. They won't let her open the door. She's like trapped in there. So she called the police.
Well, and she wouldn't answer the phone for me, and then Alex is like, I don't know if I can trust you, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, if you couldn't trust me, I wouldn't be even putting myself out there. Why did you have me drive all the way out here? If you couldn't trust me,
that call too. He begged her to go. He's like, I'm so scared. She's being held against her will by them. And they're doing this,
I had to have one of my friends. I had to have one of my friends take me because I didn't have my other vehicle. And luckily, if anything happened, he would. Yeah, but that's okay.
Which is why I had even told her, I was like, it's fine, I'll send you money, kids, snacks, whatever. Because she had to take her kids too. Because, she has hers, for all these people that don't, like the ones that can help everybody get their kids back. That was me choking, because what the hell? Right. They don't even have their own.
Well, and the thing is the way I look at it is this. What they were trying to do, and what they're still trying to do, is they're trying to get people of power into like senates, representatives, judges, and things like that believe in the same thing. They did it with Priscilla Copeland Neely out in Arkansas. They were doing it with everybody, okay? And they're trying to pass an agenda. They're trying to like basically say, okay, we have all these QAnon people out there, and now we can go ahead and basically do what we want.
They want the nuts running the country. My God. Well, you know what? I might believe in God
I can't
at that
with you,
point.
Paige. I love you, but
We're gonna need him if they all run this place. Jesus. Look at Tracy. Rah, 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 I'm a panther. No, you're a crazy fucking cougar, lady. Shut up. Excuse my language, but my God.
This is why you should be heathens like me.
I might start believing in him.
My
if
people don't do this
take
crazy
over this
stuff.
country is all I'm saying. I might need Jesus. Jeebus.
Good God, that woman just like, it looked like she was having an aneurysm the way she was screaming. Honey, go get on some Valium. She really needs to get a Thorazine in her ass. Like, I'm not even playing. She needs something.
But I have not. Answer me that.
I can see why her husband cheated on her.
I wouldn't even care about that, but just how did she even get one to, I mean, I've been proposed to, but I said no, but that's not the point. The point is, how did she get married and then just turn around and shoot at her husband? Like, who dates her? Because you're crazy. She's gonna.
Oh, she has money.
Man, don't leave her. She's gonna literally take your life. Oh my God. And then I did hear though that the husband, he had the aneurysm or whatever, but I did hear he had drug issues, Levi. So that's probably where you got that from, because I did hear he did have like an extensive drug history.
And so did allegedly Tracy.
So I think that's probably why he had an aneurysm. But
and so did Tracy Remington allegedly had issues as well.
Well, I don't blame him. He was married to that thing.
Well, I have some information about the whole Danielle Stella thing. You know, after I called the police because I was genuinely concerned that she was being harmed.
Concerned, which is why you were concerned, because I was like, this is not good.
That she was being harmed or potentially trafficked. And Kim talked to the police, and the next day the captain of the police called her, and he made a referral to the FBI about all of these yeehaws. So
yeah, he did.
There's that.
Well, because it was genuinely, she had told me, and actually she wanted to leave. She couldn't because her car was tampered with. And then her political manager was literally telling us they're doing this, that, and the other, and like she can't leave, and can you go get her? That's what he said. Can you go get her? So Ashley was like, you know, I'm gonna have to find a ride, da 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 da. And I was like, well, I can send you money for gas because you're gonna have to pay for the gas money if you can get a ride, blah blah blah. So then we got that all figured out. She leaves to go. I told her as soon as she got there, she had to call me, and I needed to be on the phone because, you know, she's kind of going into dangerous territory there. So she calls me, we're on the phone, she gets there, and then she's trying to get Danielle on the phone, and then all of a sudden she's not answering, and then Alex answered and said, the guy Alex, her political manager, answered and said, I don't know if I trust you, and it's like, well, a little late for that now, sir. And so at that point, she wouldn't open the door either. Ashley was knocking. I think, didn't she say something through the door? And wouldn't open it though. And at that point,
no, they wouldn't even tell me what room she was in, is what ended up happening. She wouldn't answer her phone. Alex wouldn't tell me what room it is. Alex is freaking out on me. I'm like, look, I'm just here to help, like whatever. And she wouldn't answer the phone. She had her cat. I was gonna put her on the next flight to go to Alex or whatever, and she's just sitting there like just crying her eyes out, basically. You know, it's like we're trying to get this woman help.
But when we couldn't get a hold of her, and then Alex flipped his script on us, and he wouldn't, I don't know if I trust you or whatever, and then she wouldn't answer and stuff like that, and said her car, which I think, because I told Ashley to go look for her car, so I was like, go see if any car are like destroyed, or like, because she was saying like they pulled the wires and a bunch of stuff. I can't remember exactly, but
yeah, like I guess the wires and stuff. She couldn't start her car, so she couldn't leave, is what happened. That's exactly what they did with Cindy Epsa.
And so what happened was, at that point, I had gotten a hold. I told Ashley, like, okay, I'm going to call you right back. I got off the phone with Ashley, and I called this Alex, and I was like, they won't, like, we can't. She's not answering and stuff now, but she said she wanted to leave and this, that, and the other. And I thought maybe they were in her room, to make it so she couldn't answer, because not that she didn't want to, but literally that she couldn't. So then
That's right.
then Ashley called me back, and at that point, but Ashley called me back at that point and was like, Dr. Good Vibes, Tracy, and some other guy just got here and are walking up. And I was like, get out of there. Because, I mean, they're dangerous.
Didn't it come out that Dr. Good Vibes knew the person that owned the hotel where this happened at?
Yes.
Yes. And that's why they let me in the room without her knowledge.
Yeah, and me and Ashley had called
a voice
and I think
recording.
Alex, you also. We had called that hotel and looked at reviews, remember? And there was a lot of sketchy stuff.
Is
like
this the same
hotel?
Did Cynthia Absug stay at this hotel room as well when she was on the run? This hotel?
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wasn't on that
I think
crazy
that's
woman
like
page.
I think this hotel is like one of their little trafficking hub spots for mothers, just like Sarah Dunklin's house.
Wow.
Because I remember I think it was Alex, we were on Google and like there were some pretty like weird, sketchy reviews like about this hotel. There had been other instances where the owner or whoever was at the front desk had given like people that were in the reviews had given other people their room keys and weird stuff like that. Like in the Google reviews of the hotel, the people were saying,
what's the name of this hotel? Do we know?
What was it called, Alex?
Hold on a second.
There's only one hotel in where Osceola? I think there's only one hotel. It's some dude just took it over like right before all this stuff happened, which I thought was very awkward as well.
It was the River Valley Inn.
Okay,
that's right.
Yeah,
it's 3 stars.
Right. Go look up, but some of the reviews are very sketchy of what the hotel owner or, the staff, quote unquote manager. But when I called there, I had asked who was the manager. What did I ask them? I was like, well, it's something, cause I wanted to know who the owner was. And I was like, can I speak to the manager? And, was saying something to him. That's how we found out that the reason they gave Good Vibes the key is cause he went, and told them that they're staying there because he's their doctor. He's a chiropractor. Okay, so what? You can just go to the front desk of a hotel and say, I'm this person's doctor, and they'll just give you a key? Like, what on God's green earth kind of a hotel is this?
That is
But
strange.
when I was there, they wouldn't give me information. I was like, well, that's convenient.
You gave...
that's true.
They gave him the key because he literally went in to Danielle and said like, he's her doctor, and the dude gave him the key. You cannot tell me that's not messed up. Something isn't right with that.
Well, when we listened to the voice recording, it's like he kept saying, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what kind of business do you run? You're not supposed to let anyone even know who's here, let alone someone in her room while she's asleep.
Right. And he's like, yeah. And he said he was the doctor. Like, I was like, okay, so he said that. Okay, well, then Ashley, tell him you're her other doctor and get a key. That's what I told her. If it's that easy, you can just say, well, I'm the doctor, and he'll just throw you a key. Then just say that.
Somebody in the chat room said this is like the Bates Motel.
Really,
Good Vibes probably is
really
like keeping in on people.
Listen, 10 out of 10 do not recommend, people. They literally let people into the room as long as they say that they're your doctor, even if it's a chiropractor. Okay? Don't do it. Stay far away. Drive to the next town fast.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, Danielle, Stella did not come on here. We were hoping that she'd come on here and share her story. I would like to talk to her. And Danielle, if you just want to talk with me without anybody else on the show, we can set that up. I sent you a message on Facebook